an interesting show for you today, Saints fans. ESPN put out an article kind of just predicting the quarterback market and the carousel and where some of these free agents might end up and the dominoes that may fall after that. And so Derek Carr, just for the record, ESPN thinks he could be on the move. So for context, the whole article was basically just laying out Sam Darnold's market. So it's like Sam Darnold went this team, then this is a domino that could happen, then this could happen, then this could happen, then this could happen. And so after a couple different scenarios, the whole situation around Derek Carr was if Sam Darnold decides to stay in Minnesota, according to ESPN, the Steelers could then be looking to trade for Derek Carr, which is pretty interesting considering the fact that he does have a no trade clause in his contract right now. We've also heard some trade rumors around the Giants, but with the Steelers, I think that they are a much more desirable destination than the Giants. So I'm going to talk about what could possibly happen with Derek Carr. Could the Saints trade him? Could they cut him? ESPN discussed both options. But really quick, I want to ask you, what would it take to trade Derek Carr? Second round pick, a third round, fourth round, fifth round? Like, what would it take if you're the GM, you're on the phone, it's draft day, movie scene type thing, and you're like, all right, what's the deal? What are we doing? Fifth round pick? Are you hanging up? Are you putting it down? Are you taking the deal? What are you doing? I want to know what would it take for you to trade for Derek Carr. So ESPN, they laid this out around DC4 saying, I could see the trade market getting hot for a player like Carr. The next best option for 2 to 3 years of acceptable play. The Steelers and coach Mike Tomlin need a plug-and-play fix at quarterback to finally find some postseason wins before seats start to get too hot. Could they work with the Saints to get New Orleans some cap relief in return for Carr's services? I think it's doable. Now, first things first, if the Steelers are looking for playoff success, I don't know how good of an idea it is to trade for a quarterback who's never won a playoff game. Just got to put that out there. But all things considered, if you were to trade Derek Carr, if he waives his no-trade clause, the Saints would need to make that a post-June 1 move. There's a lot of reasons why. We're going to talk finances in a second, but the most basic one of them all, the draft is in April. June 1st is after April. You're going to want those draft picks like now. So I don't know if a trade is very likely, but let's talk finances, because what if it does happen? It's not off the table. Pre-June 1st, the New Orleans Saints save $11.3 million if you trade him pre-June 1. However, you still have a lot of money and dead money on the books for future years. But if you wait till after June 1st, you actually save $40 million, which, gotta be honest, it's a lot of dough. And in my personal opinion, I don't think that the Saints are going to trade Carr. I don't think that this is going to turn into a trade situation. Like, I feel like he's like, no, I want to stick around in New Orleans and make my money. There's also Dennis Allen brought you in, so maybe you don't want to go. Like, personally, I think that the Saints just straight up either cut or restructure Derek Carr. I think that they would love to save the $40 million. That'd be awesome. However, you want that draft capital soon. You want to be able to have your new head coach be able to use those picks to build the roster for him, not for the past team and for the past head coach. Diana Rossini even put out a report that Kellen Moore, he's not in love with the quarterback room in New Orleans. So maybe they make a change. And even Carr, if you go back to reports not too long ago, ESPN also put out a report, Catherine Terrell, saying that Derek Carr has had super positive talks about his future in New Orleans. Yeah, this was before all these head coaching candidates dropped out. However, Carr, in the conversations, at least as far as we know, they've been pretty positive around him and the team. So I don't know what's going to happen. I personally think a restructure or a cut is more likely than a trade. But coming up, we're going to discuss what that looks like if the Saints were to cut Derek Carr rather than trading him. Because it's a completely different story if you were to just cut him and move on from him. So we're going to get you informed. We're going to tell you all about that here in just a moment. Really fast, though, I need you guys to go search in the comments section description of this video. There is a link, and it's to Game Time. If you guys don't know what Game Time is, you're living under a rock. It's the best ticketing app in the whole wide world. And they have so many great features, but none better than the Game Time Picks feature. It helps filter out the fluff to make it easier to find better value for tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Game Time Picks makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live easier for better value, like I just said. They also have other features such as all-in pricing, seat views in the app. You can get a panoramic view of your seat from your seat in the app before you buy. And on top of that, they have the best customer service department. It is second to none. I personally have used the Game Time app multiple times. I personally have made mistakes, user errors, and Game Time was there to help clean up my mistakes. So I cannot recommend this app enough. It is absolutely incredible, and it's a really easy way to support the show as well. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app today. Create an account and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. However, go ahead and make some memories with your friends, your family, your girlfriend, a significant other. I don't care. Just go make memories and download the Game Time app today. Use that code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Reminder that terms apply. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. Speaking of guarantees, Derek Carr, he actually has an injury guarantee. If Derek Carr, fun fact, if he cannot pass a physical by March 17th, $30 million of his contract becomes guaranteed in 2025. So if you remember, against the Giants, Derek Carr got hurt. He tried to hurdle somebody on 2nd and 10 and hurt his arm, his hand, or whatever. It was non-throwing hand. And then he got put in concussion protocol. So it's very important that he gets healthy and he's able to pass a physical. Like, that's one note that you guys need to be aware of. If he can't pass a physical, guy, he's going to be on the roster. You're not going to pay him $30 million just to, like he's going to be around. My point being. But here's the conversation around cutting Derek Carr. How are the cap savings going to shake out? So if you were to cut Derek Carr today, you would save $1.3 million. So you would have to act quick. If you cut him after March 16th, so that day that he passes the physical by, if you cut him afterwards, you lose $18 million, 18.7 actually. But if you make him a post-June 1st designation, you only get 2 of those, you can save $30 million. You can also save $30 million by up to $30 million by restructuring Derek Carr's contract for what it's worth. Now, ESPN diving into this as well. Because the Saints do not yet have a head coach, it's not easy to figure out the approach for Carr, who represents an astonishing $51.5 million cap hit in the 2025 season. 4th highest in the league. If the Saints desperately need cap relief, they can cut or trade Derek Carr and designate him a post-June 1 transaction, borrowing from the 2026 cap to create 2025 relief. Now, I'll just say this right now. Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback, but he is not worth $51.5 million for a year. Derek Carr is extremely average. He's aggressively average, and that is okay. You can make a long, successful, very financially profitable career by being extremely average. Derek Carr is never going to lose you a game. Derek Carr is never going to win you a game. He's going to manage the roster and work with the tools very exceptionally. However, he's never going to be the guy that's an X factor. He's never going to be the guy that takes you over the top to win those big games in those big moments. This really is, for the New Orleans Saints, a great opportunity to reset. You're going to be bringing in a new head coach, likely Kellen Moore. That's an offensive-minded guy. Let him create this offensive team. Let him build the roster the way he wants to. You have to be smart financially, but you can still reset correctly and do things to proactively fast-track this rebuild under Kellen Moore. And the Saints also, on top of that, they have to start fixing this cap space. They cannot continue to kick the can down the road. If you restructure Derek Carr, that to me tells me you're just pushing this off again until next year, which inevitably you're going to have to pay the piper anyway. You might as well do it when you're in your first year of your head coach. You're letting him kind of figure out the team and how it works and the NFC South and get more familiar there, and you can then succeed more when you have the ability to build on the roster. Ultimately, what happens with Derek Carr, it's up to the new head coach. Would they go with Spencer Rattler? I don't know. Reports from Diana Rossini, they're not that likely. I mean, not around Spencer Rattler, but they're not likely that Kellen Moore loves the quarterback room. So it's up to whether or not Kellen Moore, Darren Rizzi, Mike Kafka, Anthony Weaver, whoever it is, it's up to the head coach, whatever happens with Derek Carr. Because Mickey Loomis has come out and said that the head coach is going to have a big say in Derek Carr's future with the team, which is the correct decision for what it's worth. Dennis Allen brought him in. Dennis Allen's gone. There is nobody in the halls of the New Orleans Saints that is tied to Derek Carr outside of Mickey Loomis. Just quite frankly, I think he has a little bit of a love for Derek Carr because of the Dennis Allen connection, blah, 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 whatever. My point being, I think it's ultimately time to start this rebuild, and it's up to the head coach what happens with Derek Carr. Now, a really quick reminder, we will be going live if anything happens around Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints, whether it's a trade, whether it's a cut, whether it's a restructure, no questions asked. We will be going live to break it down and react and get y'all's reactions as well. So I can't encourage you enough to subscribe. You also get free daily videos around your favorite team. Saints fans, y'all stay golden. I'm going to be headed to New Orleans. If this video is out during the Super Bowl media week, I'm in New Orleans, so come say what's up. Hope to see you guys around. Y'all stay golden.